So what do you say to people who say, well, it's a Ponzi scheme because every time Bitcoin goes up, you issue more equity and debt to buy more Bitcoin. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, just like developers in Manhattan, every time Manhattan real estate goes up in value, they issue more debt to develop more real estate. That's why your buildings are so tall in New York City. It's been going on for 350 years. I would call it an economy.
And there you have Michael Saylor dropping some alpha on just the simple response of MicroStrategy not being a Ponzi scheme. It's just an economy. You get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. With that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption, but if you're interested in trading MicroStrategy options, any other stock out there, Bitcoin, Solana, or any other crypto out there, you can now do that on Moomoo. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, which we pin in the comment section, also in the description below, when you sign up and deposit any amount, you're going to receive up to 20 free stocks, and each one of these stocks could be valued at up to $2,000. So make sure to sign up with Moomoo. Go get that free money. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
And to piggyback on that, if you guys want some free stuff, who doesn't like free stuff? It's in the pin. It's in the description below. 15 free stocks, each valued to 2,000. Use this link right here. At the current time this recording, Bitcoin is coming in right below 106,000 at 105.8K. And we showed you this in the earlier video today. Been giving you 2 videos a day. We want to get above this channel. And it looked like for one point we were getting above. We almost eclipsed and almost hit 108, got to like 107.7K. And right now we're still below this region. This is the daily chart. So could we just get another candle that closes about where it is right now? Tomorrow, could we get up above it? Or Wednesday, could we see the massive push above this to, you know, this technical target for this ascending triangle is up to about $140,000 to $150,000. So are we going to come to the upside of this? We're still putting in higher highs and higher lows, new all-time highs today. Definitely massive news and bullishness in the markets. Tech Dev is weighing in, and what's he saying? The Bitcoin money flow has entered yellow. 3 to 4 months of vertical movement have always followed. So what does this mean? If you look down here at the money flow, this is an indicator you can get on TradingView. But once this goes to yellow, historically 3 or 4 months later, the peak has happened. Historically, 3 or 4 months later, historically, is this going to be a rinse and repeat? We've seen that in 2013. We've seen that in 2017. And look what happened. In 2021, we didn't even really get a full cycle per the money flow because, you know, we may have got pulled back because the FUD, the rate hikes, you know, Elon Musk stopped taking Bitcoin for payment, you know, so we might have hit 100,000 last cycle. So will this be the super cycle that people are talking about? Bob Lucas is weighing in. He has a different theory. We've showed you this in previous videos, but we're just comparing different stances. You got to look at different lenses to understand when these cycle tops can be. So once you get to the 46th month, when it bottoms out, the 35th to the maybe 33rd month is when that cycle peak is. So the bottoming out right here was in late 2022. So if we go back to the charts and we get off the daily and go to the weekly chart, and let's zoom out so we can see everything on the macro. And when was the bottoming out back here? It was roughly right here around November of 22. So if we get out our tool set and from this bottom go 35 months, where exactly does that take us? Let's get the date range from this major candle down here. And 35 months, actually we're going to change this range, run the weekly. Let's go to the monthly just so it'll be actually 35 bars. We can actually see the bottom detail a little bit better here. It's actually not this candle, it's this one here. So 35 months from here back in December of 22, we're looking at 35 bars would take us to November of 2025. So that's, you know, the difference from what Bob Lucas is saying from around Q4 of 2025 versus Tech Dev saying over the next 3 months, 3 or 4 months, end of Q1, early Q2, getting that blow off top for the cycle. What do you think? Stock Money Lizards is weighing in, and he's saying Bitcoin new all-time high, but this is not the top. Satoshi meter is loading, but it's only at 9. Once you get back above over this 20 range is when the peak is likely to be in. And then looking at the CBBI, the confidence, we're at the peak, 82. We're not quite there yet, but one thing we are getting into the red. We haven't gotten to the dark red, but are we going to be keeping ramping up and eventually get into that dark red where it's the overbought territory for Bitcoin? Or could we cool off again like we did back here in March/April of 2024? We had a brief cool off, got back into the yellow, and now we're blasting up past 100,000. We hope that you're prepared. And looking at MicroStrategy, speaking of Michael Saylor keeps buying. And we actually had a retracement in the price even though Bitcoin went up today. It seems like we could get some massive selling from Michael Saylor. He might be doing some ATM buys once again, but that's good for the long-term stock appreciation because he's buying more Bitcoin, propping the company up with Bitcoin, because think not short-term, but long-term. When Bitcoin goes to 250, 500, 1, 2, $5 million, and you're getting these huge appreciations, and MicroStrategy is just propped up with that, that is going to be massive bullishness to the upside. But we seem to have some type of bull pennant. As you see, we've just been in this range, in this channel. We hit our head. This was sort of an outlier candle, so you can't really look at that. Came back down, hit our head once again today. And this actually can be drawn a little bit differently if you want to draw it with the candle bodies. It might make a little bit more sense because, look, we actually came and kissed this almost perfectly with this one here for this retracement. Came back down, but we're getting squeezed. This apex is December 23rd. So will we see a cool off back down to 400 before we actually break out of this channel, flip this resistance to support before we have continuation to the upside? That could be what's in the cards. So without further ado, let's hear the latest and greatest from Michael Saylor and his take on if Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Let's hear from Michael.
So what do you say to people who say, well, it's a Ponzi scheme because every time Bitcoin goes up, you issue more equity and debt to buy more Bitcoin, and it just keeps going and going and going?
Yeah, just like developers in Manhattan, every time Manhattan real estate goes up in value, they issue more debt to develop more real estate. That's why your buildings are so tall in New York City. It's been going on for 350 years. I would call it an economy.
The other, it's not the only innovation going on right now, Michael. This announcement out of Alphabet last week regarding quantum computing kind of refreshed that debate about whether Bitcoin or crypto encryption can survive long-term advances in quantum. How can it?
There's nobody more sophisticated with regard to encryption than the Bitcoin community. Satoshi was writing about this 15 years ago. The quantum benchmark that Google ran has no practical use in the real world right now. It's an impressive benchmark, but in fact, if anybody ever develops a super powerful computer that can crack encryption, it's going to be a challenge for Microsoft, Google, the US government, every company on earth. And of course, the entire technology community is going to be focused on that. When that happens, we'll all just upgrade our software with quantum resistant algorithms. Right now, the consensus in the community is we're nowhere close to that being a threat.